You just ask the questions and make sure that every question you ask is targeted towards them. That's where you feel very relaxed, comfortable, and in control of the situation. Good day, everyone. Welcome to Read with Tammy. And today is going to be a very interesting session because we are reviewing our book, How to Become a People Magnet by Mark Reclus. On our last episode, we established the fact that in order to improve or develop your strong people skills, you need to understand how people work. You need to understand the human nature. And we said that understanding human nature means you have to know what people are interested in. You have to connect to people on a deeper level. You have to create a good impression, and you have to make others feel important. So that was a foundation that we established in order to develop our people skills. So on this episode, we're going to be talking about the importance of communication in developing your people skills. Communication is something that we cannot do without. Communication is a major element in human relationships and in developing our social and people skills. So we're going to get right into the episode. One important tip we need to know about communicating effectively with people in order to attract them and influence them is to listen to them. We have to listen actively. Most of us don't listen. That's the truth. We only hear, but we don't listen. So if you want to be able to influence people, you must listen to them. When they speak, maintain eye contact, listen to them, and let them know that yes, you are present in the moment with them. Another tip that can help in communication, which in turn strengthens your people skills, is to become an influencer. So becoming an influencer is having the ability to make people do what you want to do. And in order to achieve that, the first logical step is to find out what will make them do it. If, for instance, you are on a project and you want all hands to be on deck on that project, how do you make people do what you want? First, you have to find out what will make them do it. For instance, in a workplace, what are your motivators? As a leader in your sphere, what are your motivators? What are your incentives? What are those things that will make people motivated or inspired to do what you want them to do? So becoming an influencer is a great tip on developing your people skills. Becoming an influencer is a great tip for attracting everyone you meet. And then the next one says, you have to be able to convince people real quick. Most of the time, people you meet will be skeptical of you or what you say. That's totally human. Whatever you are saying, they will think you probably want to sell them something. Have you ever been in that position where you're trying to board a bus and you just see someone well-dressed coming to you with maybe a material, and then they are trying to say, oh, I'm from, you're already like, oh, please, I'm not interested. And that is completely normal, especially when people think that, what am I going to benefit from this? You just want to sell your product and that's it. But becoming an influencer means you have to understand that people like to make decisions on their own. A great way to convince people is quoting someone. Let somebody else speak for you, even if the person is not present in the moment. That's why you have testimonials, you have opinions, you have reviews. So imagine they see a review of that product you are selling from other people. That's enough reason for them to want to listen to you. So it is very important to learn how to convince people quickly. And how do you do that? Let your results speak for you. They need to see that, oh, these are the achievements that you've had. So when they see the results, they can say, oh, it's safe to say, or it's safe to know that I can actually listen to you. It's a psychological mystery. If you tell people directly about how great you are, they will hugely be skeptical. Speak through third persons, quote statistics and people, relate facts, tell success stories. If you want people to actually follow you and buy into what you are saying, they must see the results already. And it's not that the results are going to be coming out from your mouth, they are going to see reviews of other people. They're going to see how that business, how that project has affected other people who have worked with you before, or they would see the result. So just talking and telling people how great you are, how beneficial it will be for them if they come into the business is not enough. People need to see results. So become a result-oriented person. So make sure that your results are speaking for you. If you're not a person who is resultful, nobody would want to listen to you. Nobody would want to buy into anything you are saying. So it is very important that we are results-oriented. Another great tip to attract everyone you meet is to get people to say yes to you. And how do you do that? Getting people to say yes has a lot less to do with luck or their mood than what you think. How can you get people to say yes to you? You have to give them a reason to say yes, because it's not just enough to talk. You have to give them a reason why they should say yes to you. Everyone has a reason for doing what they do. If you want somebody to do something for you, give them a reason to do it. Of course, the reason has to be to their advantage or benefit. Remember, we talked about understanding in human nature. Nobody would want to work with you if they don't stand to gain something. Tell them how they will benefit by doing what you want them to do. So before you ask someone to do something, you must be doing that yourself. That's one great way to get people to say yes to you. Another way to get people to say yes to you is to ask the question, yes. I'll explain. It's easier to get a yes from people if they're already in a yes mindset. How does this work? This is done by asking two or more people a yes question. Yes questions are questions that can only be answered by yes. The idea behind this technique is that when you get people to say yes to 3 or 4 questions that you ask them, there is a high chance that you will get them to continue to say yes. For instance, there are some questions here. Do you want to be happy? Yes. Do you want to be independent? Yes. Do you want to live a life free from worries? Of course, yes would be the answer. Emphasize the yes questions by nodding your head while you answer the questions. This will already set the mindset of the person or the people to continue to agree with you. So that is a great psychological technique to use in order to get people to say yes to you. Another great tip is to talk less and do more. Talk is cheap. People want to see your results. People want to see the actions. So you must make sure that you are doing more than you are just talking. Everybody wants to see results. The next tip is respect other people's opinion. Don't be so opinionated that you can't even see other people's views. Don't hold on so tight to your own perceptions or your opinions that you fail to see the opinions of others. And trust me, people don't like to be disagreed with all the time. People don't like people who always want to get their way. In fact, it is almost irritable for some people to be around a person who always wants to get their way, who always thinks that their opinions are better and should be taken. So learn to respect other people's opinion and understand that you won't be right all the time. The next tip says, be authentic, be transparent, be you. Now remember, from the beginning of this book, we said it has nothing to do with people pleasing. It has absolutely nothing to do with people pleasing. So you must be real. You must be authentic. The truth is, people would eventually find out if you are faking. So you must be real, be authentic with people, Make sure that everything you are doing, everything you're practicing is genuine. You're not just faking it or acting so that you get people to do what you want. You have to be real with these things. Another tip that would help us to develop our people skills is to communicate effectively. This is very important. One thing successful people have in common is that they are very great communicators. They know exactly how to express ideas, emotions, wants, wishes, hopes, and disappointment. So in order to influence people, we must be able to communicate our thoughts, our concerns effectively. And this is a skill that must be learned. You must learn the art of communicating. Now, here are some suggestions that will help you improve on your communication. Stop being afraid of saying something too trivial, something inadequate, or something that makes no sense at all. And above all, relax. Don't be too careful to choose your words. Like, am I saying the right thing? How do I know that this thing that's going to come out of my mouth will make sense? Another thing you need to know to communicate effectively is that you don't have to be perfect. Yes, stop trying. Nobody can fascinate others all the time. Be authentic and speak from the heart. People will appreciate it. So just be authentic. Like we said, be real, speak from your heart. Another way to communicate effectively is to get the other person to talk about themselves. You just ask the questions and make sure that every question you ask is targeted towards them. That's where you feel very relaxed, comfortable, and in control of the situation. It is human nature to want to blow up your ego, tell people how great you are, tell them how well you're doing. But if you want to really influence people, resist the urge of making the conversation about you. Less talk about you and more talk about the people you are willing to influence. I hope this episode has been really enlightening and inspiring. Please drop a comment. Let's know the one tip that really stood out for you in this episode. Don't forget to subscribe and leave your notifications on so that you know when the new episode drops. I will see you next time.